important for you to consider the access to your elected official. The fact that I grew up as part of this community next door in Kirk County, that I've been very present here during this campaign, and that I'm going to be the candidate that you're going to have the greatest access to, not just because I'm 20 minutes up the road, or a little closer than that if you drive faster, but I don't, since Chair Buzz is sitting here. But also because I'm going to be very active, I'm going to be very part of this community. I care about Bandera, I always have. It's part of the hill country, it's just part of the community that I grew up in. This isn't a stepping stone for me. This isn't part of higher ambition. I'm running because I feel called to serve, to offer myself in service. And I'm running because I want my sons and your children and your grandchildren to have the same values, opportunity, and prosperity growing up here in Bandera and the hill country as I did when I grew up in Kirk County and my mom did before that. I'm worried about that future. Honestly, I can't say what the future is going to be like for my sons, for your kids, for your grandkids, for the children in this community. But I can tell you that I'm going to fight for that future. I'm going to fight for that future because we don't need just another Republican in the Texas legislature. I'm the conservative choice in this race. I'm going to fight for the conservative values and principles that we hold dear here in this hill country. You know, one of the things to me is we've got too many elected officials that just love to talk about the issues and the problems. And I find that fault in both in Austin and in Washington, D.C. You know, we have folks that come down here and they'll spend a half hour telling you what we already know. You know, this is an issue, this is an issue, this is an issue. We know what the issues are. What are the solutions? How do we address those issues? And that's what I'm running. I'm running to bring principled, biblical, conservative, constitutional leadership to fight for our way of life and to get the job done. I want to tell you what I'm going to fight for. I'm going to fight, number one, to protect our water. My top priority is water here in the hill country and how terrified I am by what this drought is doing to our way of life, what it's already done and what it threatens to do here in the future. You know, the two ways that I'm going to fight for our water is, number one, I'm going to fight back against the regulatory creep and the intrusion that's threatening our property rights. Now, I'm terrified by the fact that the Environmental Protection Agency is trying to reinterpret the Clean Water Act to give the federal government jurisdiction over every drop of water in Texas. We've seen the overreaches that the Obama administration has already brought. And to think that they would want to have jurisdiction over all water or whatever we have left here in Bandera County absolutely terrifies me. But we also have to be concerned, and I'm going to fight back against our state bureaucracy. And too often we've seen our state agencies that mirror more of what we hate about Washington, D.C. than what we come to expect in our Texas state government. And I'm going to fight against the bureaucratic creep and the disrespect for our property rights that we've seen that has come out of the TCEQ and some of the other state agencies. As state representative, I'm the advocate for this community. And Greg Abbott talks about the fact, and I know General Abbott, I worked for him for 3.5 years as Assistant Attorney General under his administration, representing the state of Texas in litigation matters. You know, he talks about how he sued the federal government 29 times when he was the Attorney General. And I see that my role as your state representative is to make sure that Austin knows when our rights are being trampled on here. That I'll be the advocate. I'll be going to our next Attorney General. I'll be going to Governor Abbott and saying, we've got an issue here. We've got an issue here with the Fish and Game Institute coming in here and trying to designate this species as an endangered species, or we've got an issue with the EPA coming in and taking our water. We need you to go to fight for us. I need you to go to bat for us. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to be the one to fight for the resources that we need to address our water infrastructure. You know, we talk right now about how the state is putting into place the state's water plan and how there's billions of dollars that are supposedly being allocated for water infrastructure here in Texas. You know, we should be entitled to our fair share. And my concern is that now that the money there, the real fight is going to come at the next legislative session when the rules and definitions are written, and that we're going to get left behind. You know, they say in the state's water plan that 10% is set aside for rural Texas, and 20% is set aside for conservation. And that's great in theory, except for neither of those terms are defined in the legislature. And I'm going to fight to make sure that the resources that are intended for Bandera County for water are actually delivered here for Bandera County. Water is life. And I used to say water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. We used to have tons of water. Now we don't have a drop to drink. Second thing is I'm going to fight for our local economy. I'm going to fight for the small businesses that form the backbone of our economy. I'm going to do that by not raising taxes. I'm a no vote on raising your taxes. Government, we don't have a revenue problem in Texas, we have a spending problem. And government needs to live within its means. We need to do that without raising taxes. We need to find more ways to cut our budget. We have to do that as families and businesses. So I'm going to fight to keep your taxes low. I'm also going to push back against the rulemaking and regulatory creep that's adding that additional cost of business without returning anything of value. You know, as part of that, I'm going to fight for our local economy. I'm going to fight to make sure that we can grow and have the infrastructure that we need to meet our future growth. And I'm also going to work to address our workforce needs. You know, unfortunately, even though we have great rural public education, the hands of our administrators and teachers are tied sometimes. We need real local control so that we can ensure that the students that graduate with real-world skills ready to get to work. My plan for that is what I want to do is an honors vocational diploma, where a student on a vocational track with a little bit of extra work can graduate not just with a diploma, but also with a basic level certificate that's industry recognized in the trade or field that makes them immediately marketable. We have the infrastructure at the public school level to do that. We can get local control, we can get the job done. We graduate a student with a diploma, a welder certificate, or a basic mechanic degree. They'll be marketable and ready to go to work for your businesses. I'm going to fight for the biblical, constitutional, conservative principles that we all have here in this room. I'm proud to be pro-life. I'm the only endorsed pro-life candidate in this race. But we need to do more to protect the unborn because what's happening, what's been going on, continued murder of babies is just absolutely unacceptable. I'm going to fight for the Second Amendment. I've got a plan for that. What I want to do on the Second Amendment issues is not just talk about how important it is. There's two things I'd like to do. Number one, I support open carry. I'll vote for it. But number two is I want to remove the restrictions on where a law-abiding licensed concealed handgun license holder can carry. When we create these gun-free zones, all we're doing is we're advertising to the criminals and those with mental health problems that, look, this is a place where there's defensive people that you can attack. And the next time in Texas, if there's a Newton tragedy, when people try to go and attack our children, I want there to be a law-abiding, responsible citizen that can be there and fight back instead of just being a magnet for bullets. So I stand firm on the Second Amendment, and I want to respect the Second Amendment because government does not need to be concerned with responsible citizens exercising their Second Amendment rights. Criminals and crazies we need to be concerned with, and otherwise the government needs to respect the Second Amendment. Another issue that I'm going to work hard on, that I'm going to fight for, is securing our border. You know, it's not just a conservative talking point. It's a real issue. Sheriff Butts can tell you the crime, the cartels, and drugs that we see in this community can be directly linked to our failure to secure the border. To me, as a Texan, as a private property owner, it is inexcusable. It is offensive to me that we have our citizens down living in Texas that are legitimately concerned with being murdered in their beds when they go to sleep. Responsibility to get the job done. Instead of just wringing our hands and complaining about it, I want to lead the fight for Texas to put the resources on the ground, to put the resources on the border, to get the job done, because that crime, that drugs, those cartels are coming up I-35, they're hitting San Antonio, and I can tell you from my experience being the county attorney and prosecutor in my community that the drugs and the Kerrville schools are a direct result of our inability to secure the border. I'm passionate about serving you, fighting for your needs, and being the advocate for Bandera County. I care about this community. I feel like it's part of my community. It's where I grew up. And I'm going to be the responsive state representative. It's going to be accessible to you. It's going to be part of this community, and it's going to fight for the issues to get the job done. We all know what the problems are, and I'm asking for your vote to elect me and support me so I can get to work to meet those solutions and get the job done. Thank you very much.